in writing, by the way. I wanted to show to my in-laws because they feel I'm good for nothing. So talking about me, I'm Khalid Khan from the Epiglottis, and I'm getting bald, I'm getting a little paunch, and needless to say, I'm already married. Sorry. Alright. Now there was one fake news, I don't know how to read it, but there was fake news I heard that recently the Indian Rail, the government was planning to give the entire control of the city's railway station to the leading multinational companies of that particular city. So they decided to give Bangalore railway station control to the Infosys. Now we all know what is going to happen if Infosys is going to control the railway station in Bangalore. Most of them will be on bench. Now talking about corporate, we all work in corporate world. We all work in Deloitte. Now, when we work in corporate, there are a few corporate etiquettes we must adhere to. If we see somebody is not adhering to the corporate etiquette, it's really irritating. Now, I would like to share one particular incident which had happened a few months back with me. So, I came to office, I was a little late. Please don't tell this to my manager, I always come to office late. So I parked my bike in the parking lot. I rushed to the elevator lobby. I saw nobody there. So I got the privilege to call the elevator. So with great pride and pleasure, I executed my noble duty. I pushed the elevator button. Now while I was waiting for the elevator to come, now the other employees also gathered and joined me while waiting, except one smart guy. Now guys, tell me, my face I look educated, right? And if I'm waiting along with the other employees, doesn't it mean that I've already pushed the button? Is it really needed for you to push the button again? Now this smart guy exactly did the same. Maybe he wanted to, hey dude, see, this is how the elevator's got done. And actually elevator came down that way. Now, we all were waiting that the elevator door should open, but this guy was so desperate to get in that he stood close to the elevator lift so that his nose was almost touching the stainless steel. And the moment the elevator door opened, 6 ladies inside almost screamed, looking at the stretch box. Now 2 of them were onshore clients. They were looking at this shameless creature as if they have seen penguin in India. Now, despite all this humiliation, hardly made an effect to this guy. He made his parking before anybody could get out. Looking strange look to this guy, all the passengers went out, and we all, as gentlemen, we went and pressed our respective floor buttons. Now the level 2 here, in the level 2 elevator stop, we all know that elevator, level 2 we have cafeteria here. So at level 2, the elevator stopped, the elevator door opened, and I saw 2 healthy ladies standing with tiny fruit plates in their hands. Yes, the fruit plates were looking tiny in their hands. So they got into the elevator door closed, and usually the elevator journey is very interesting. As they say that bad habits die hard, I couldn't resist myself to listen to their conversation. So one lady started telling, you know what, my gym trainer had told me that I have put on a few kilograms. I said, kilograms? I thought this lady might have a bad time in her mathematics because she hardly knew how many kilograms make a quintal. But the good news was that at least they were following their gym trainer's advice, and to shed out few kilograms, they were hogging on fruit plate full of mangoes. So far I have known that out of all the fruits, mangoes have the highest calories. Then I had a re-look into their plate and I was wrong. There were bananas as well. Now the 3rd floor elevator stopped and these ladies moved out. And believe me, just for 1 floor they were using the elevator. It doesn't irritate anybody more than this. Now on the 7th floor, when our floor was coming, again this desperate guy prepared himself touching the stainless steel. And the moment the elevator door opened, he bumped into another smart guy who was trying to get in. So we laughed out louder and we came. So the moral of this particular story, there are 3. 1, please let passengers from the elevator come out before you make your parking. 2nd, just for the 1 floor, don't use the elevator. Believe me, it's really irritating. Unless there is a medical emergency. And 3rd, mangoes and bananas doesn't help you lose weight. Well, I was talking about my wife. My wife is Sindhi. Anybody Sindhi in house? Please give me a chair. Oh cool, there are few Sindhis in house. So my wife is Sindhi, and Her grandfather came to India from Pakistan, as most of the Sindhis came. So technically she's half Indian, half Pakistani, which actually means that she's in constant war with herself. And she married to a Muslim guy. Nothing could have gone weird. So while I was in this particular emotional trauma, and somebody advised me, like, why don't you go and visit Wagah border? Have anybody seen Wagah border? Yes. At least you have seen in the recent advertisement which is coming. So for those who do not know, of course, this is the Indo-Pak border near Amritsar. And if you go any day, all the countries, what they have done, they have created huge stadium on the either side where people can sit and they can watch the closing gate ceremony in the evening. Now, any given evening you go, there are 50, 100 bored Pakistanis sitting over there. And here in India, 3-5 million over-enthusiastic, happy to be born in free democracy, largest democracy in the world. They're happy, they're singing, don't know why they're happy, but they're happy. So we've been there, and for the first time we were looking at Pakistan. There was a particular North Indian family who was looking Pakistani for the first time and said, hey, bacho, dekho, Pakistan, Pakistan. बिल्कुल इंसान लगते हैं. Well, anyways, we waved to them, they waved to us. In fact, their wave was like, can we come there? So we thought something would happen, but then patriotic songs started. First in the Pakistani side, some La Ilaha, something Pakistan, and even Pakistani looked confused. Never heard of this song. In India, Lata Didi started. One ki Asha's elder sister. So she started. And mere watan ke logo. We also started singing. Even Pakistani started singing with us. In fact, they knew lyrics better than us. Haan pe bhalo pani nahi jana, haan pe bhalo pani, haan pe bhalo pani. And then after this, we all waited something would happen. Then two MCs came to the ground with this particular mic, and the person in the Pakistani side he said, "Ab hamari आवाज हिंदुस्तान तक पहुंचनी चाहिए." Now just 50, 100 bored Pakistani were there. They were waiting. And he said, Pakistan! Believe me, the Zindabad did not come to India. Baad of the Zindabad, they just trickled through the gate. And then we were waiting for our turn. Now our side is great. Ab hamari awaaz Pakistan tak pahunchni chahiye. And he said, Bharat Mata ki! And believe me, 5 million over-enthusiastic Indians shouted Jai. And believe me friends, our Jai skipped the gate, skipped the Pakistan, it reached Afghanistan. Somewhere in Toravaru mountain, some Taliban citizen. We were so charged up. We were doing the Nara, they were doing the Naras, and believe me, there was one particular point, this guy would have said Akraman instead of Within 15 minutes, we could have captured Islamabad and Alright, so talking about North India, many people are from here, Delhi. How many from Delhi? Give me a cheer, yeah? Good. I really like Delhi guys. They are full of life, full of energy, particularly when they go to the zoo. Now normally, any normal person would like to observe the tiger from 50 feet distance. No, but these guys, they want to get into the enclosure of the tiger. Pasand aaya to chune. Have you seen that video? Yeah? I've seen that video. Now this guy was in the tiger's enclosure for 15 minutes. And this tiger was staring at him. We had 15 minutes to save this guy. But in 2014, we didn't have the tranquilizer guns. And this was the way we were trying to save this guy. Hey tiger, hush! That got me worried. If this is their line of defense, what if tomorrow the China would invade India? Hey China, but seriously, this is not the first incident which happened. Many incidents have happened in the past, and many people have lost their lives. All because we crossed our lives. line. We crossed the line, and that is how it happened. So somewhere in the time, some official would be talking about this. So, Mr. Gokhale, this kind of incident happening here, we should do something. So what is in your mind? Well, Mr. Tambe, I think we should give the tranquilizer guns to each zookeeper, so that next time they can shoot this bloody animal before he gets into the enclosure. Alright. So, alright. I just forgot again. So, on a serious note, guys, it was wonderful being here in Deloitte. I have been with Deloitte for the last 4 years, and before Deloitte, I mean, I never knew what the great life was. Deloitte has given me a lot, many things, and this is one of the best era of my life. Believe me, in childhood it wasn't the same case. In childhood I was very poor, my family was poor. My sister and I, we used to walk 15 kilometers away to the school, and because our school was very far away. And our family situation was so poor that when our next meal is about to come was always a suspense. And when we used to come back to the home, we didn't have the electricity at home, so we used to study under the that street light. And after that, my father moved to city as a clerk, but the financial condition never improved. If you think it is true, it is not, by the way. My father was a university professor, and we used to go to the school in ambassador car, and we used to have electricity 24/7. Right? And now this particular piece I showed you was overacting. Now everything begins at home. Charity begins at home. My overacting began at home. My father always wanted to be a villain in film industry, but he did not. But he made sure that we had enough drama in our life daily. My mother was a simple house lady, and she had this weird habit to include rhyming in all the sentences she wrote. So a normal scenario in everybody's home, it happens that when the father is going to the office and he's saying goodbye, it normally happens at everybody's house. But in my house, it used to happen like this. So my father would go to the door and say, "Darling, hasta la vista, baby." And my mother would say, "Try to come soon, before full moon." Now in any family, when father comes home and asks for a glass of water, it happens in every family. But in my family, it used to happen like this. So my father would come home and say, "Darling, can I have a glass of water?" And my mother would say to my daughter, sorry, my daughter. So my mother would say to her daughter, "Hey, what's the matter? You're my daughter, bring your father some water." And these two people gave birth to me. A masterpiece. So, when I was born, it all started when I was born, and my parents took me to a Swami, not Nityanand. They took me to a Swami, and my father said, "Swami, this is our son. This is our baby boy. And yesterday we bought a toy." "Darling, this is not the timing. Please control your mind." "Baba, please tell us, will you pick up a doctor or will you ride a tractor? Just for the rhyming's sake, you want your son to ride a tractor? Please control yourself." "Baba, you tell." Now when Baba came into the rhyming that day, he said, "Your son will not become a doctor. Neither he will ride a tractor. He will become an actor. He will act throughout his life, even in front of his wife." Now I don't know what happened that day, what did he say, but I couldn't take this particular thing out of my system. For example, in my school days, when my teacher used to ask me what's your father's name, so believe me, I can go to any extent to use rhyming sentence per word. So I used to reply this way: "Washing powder Nirma, my father's name is Sharma." And my father used to feel bad about it because his name is Khan. Following the jokes. And even this thing definitely helped me. In my previous organization, when I used to go to my manager and I used to ask for the leave, I used to do it this way: "Boss, I need a leave." "What? What happened?" Well, life is a flowing river. I got disease related to liver. Disease related to liver? What happened? What's that disease? Well, the disease name is Shawshank Redemption. Isn't that a movie name? You know that? Okay. No problem. No problem. Just going to no problem. So, now in my family, like I was talking to the rhyming, now I'll talk about the overacting. So, for example, if I come after the school annual results, and I used to do this, Dad, I got 100 marks, Dad. And my father used to say, where is the emotion, son? So I used to redo this. Dad, I got 100 marks, Dad. And my dad was, which subject? All the subjects put together, Dad. So this I inherited from my parents, and I was not able to think that where I can use this particular talent. And that is where I came to this platform called Toastmasters, and that is through where I started trying stand-up comedy. So the rhyming and overacting comes to me as naturally as out of cloud. Sorry, bad rhyming, I know. But what I mean to say, the question here is, you have to identify what comes naturally to you. And once you do that, keep on doing it. So once you identify what comes naturally to you and keep on doing it, this particular life becomes the stage, and you become the hero of your life. Over to you.